Hello and welcome to DevTest Solutions. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install DevTest Server in a Linux environment. Now, if you're installing on Windows or OS X, there is still benefit for you in this video. The install wizard is pretty much the same for all operating systems, but this video does highlight some of the aspects of the install that are specific to Linux. Also, if you're just installing the workstation component, there is another video available in the DocOps space specifically for that, and that video is Windows-based. Also, this video just covers the install process, so if you need help downloading the installer from CA support, there are also detailed steps for that and another video in DocOps as well. So to get to DocOps, just open a browser and go to docops.ca.com/dts for DevTest Solutions. And once there, you'll see that there is a section devoted to installing. And in the installing section, you can see articles for installing DevTest Server and for installing Workstation. And then the article to help you download the installer is underneath the pre-installation section. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about installing DevTest Server. So I've already downloaded my installation files, so let's take a look at those. And here you can see the DevTest demo server zip file and the DevTest Linux 64-bit installer file. You can also see the license file that I got directly from CA. And this is the license file that you need to use on the machine where DevTest is being installed. If you don't have a license file, there's information about how to get one on the DocOps space as well. And these two files are the original files that I downloaded earlier from CA support, and then I unzipped them to get the files that I just showed you. And I'll also point out that the install file has execute privileges, which is important. So to run the install in GUI mode, I type the following command. Now if I press enter here, I'll bring up the install wizard and go through the installation, which is what we're going to do. But if you prefer to install in command line mode, just add a -c to the command. But like I said, I'm going to install this in GUI mode, so let's go ahead and run the installer. And the first screen in the installer is the welcome page that shows you which version of DevTest you're about to install, so I can just click Next. And then this screen is the license agreement, so you need to read through the agreement and scroll to the bottom. And once you're at the bottom of the page, you can click I accept the terms of the agreement and click Next. And now you're prompted to select the components that you want to install. I'm installing DevTest Server, which also includes a copy of Workstation, so leaving Server selected installs all DevTest components, and I'm ready to click Next. In this screen, I select my installation directory, and I'm going to go ahead and accept the default directory, but I should also point out that if you are upgrading from an older shared install, you're also going to be prompted to enter the path and folder name for your data directory. In this screen, I'm prompted to decide whether to install Identity and Access Manager or to connect to an existing IAM. Now, Identity and Access Manager is a new feature for 10.4, and it controls all of the authentication for DevTest. So typically you would install one IAM for your DevTest environment and then point all of your other instances to that single IAM. You only install multiple instances of Identity and Access Manager if you need to manage the authentication for each registry in your environment separately. And there is a lot of information about this feature in the DocOps space. Now I'm installing a new instance of DevTest, so I'm going to go ahead and install a new IAM. And now you're prompted to select the type of database that you want to use with your user management in Identity and Access Manager. For this video, I'm going to accept the default of an embedded database, but typically you would select the type of external database that you want to use, and then enter the configuration details for that database. But like I said, I'm going to select an embedded database. And at this point, I have to decide whether I'm installing a new enterprise dashboard or connecting to an existing one. Now, you can only have one enterprise dashboard in your environment, and then all other instances of DevTest point to that single dashboard. For example, if I'm installing a remote simulator server or a VSE, I would just connect to the dashboard from my original DevTest install by entering the URL for that dashboard. Again, I'm actually installing a completely new instance of DevTest here, but that also means that I need to specify the path to the license file that I showed you earlier. In this screen, I select whether I want to send diagnostic and usage data to CA. The statistics that are collected help CA better understand how our clients use this product. No actual test data or virtual responses are shared, and if you're interested, there is a detailed list of the data that is collected in the DocOps space. I'm going to go ahead and select Yes, and I should point out that this screen only shows up if you're installing a new enterprise dashboard. If you're connecting to an existing dashboard, this step is skipped. Next up, I have to decide whether to install the demo server. Demo server provides a convenient environment for verifying the installation, and it provides useful sample projects. I definitely want to install this, so I'm just going to make sure the path to the demo server zip file is correct, and I'm ready to click Next. You also have the option to create symlinks, which I would like to do, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that selected. And you can choose whether or not to create desktop icons. I'm going to leave that selected too. And now all my options are selected, and I'm ready to start the actual install. And to do that, I just click Install. And after a few minutes, the installation completes, and this screen provides some important information about your new install. So read through this information and then click Next. And this is the final screen that indicates that your installation is complete, and now you can just click Finish. And if I zoom out a bit, you can see the icons that were created as part of the install. And that pretty much wraps up installing DevTest Server. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for viewing it, and this concludes installing DevTest Server on Linux. For more detailed information about this product, click the information bubble in the top right corner to go to the CA Service Virtualization product page, and from there you can access product documentation, support, and the communities, and view the available learning paths.